Okay, this is part 2 of the video on the Briery Creek ecotypes. So we're starting where we left off, where we've done some caretaking work and timber stand improvement in the hardwood zone. So we will continue down the trail. So this is an old beaver dam. It's been abandoned for about 7 years now. About 7 years since the beaver have been active here. So their pond is starting to fill in with lots of plants. Alders, sedges, rushes, a little bit of cattail way back in the back there. And then saplings of trees are also invading some of the higher, drier areas. So this is what a beaver pond looks like after it's been abandoned for about 7 years. So we call these areas beaver meadows. There's perhaps 30 of them on this property in various stages. Some have been abandoned longer than this, and others the beavers are still active in. So this is something that we're allowing to happen because it creates such a wondrously diverse environment and a whole different ecosystem from the other areas that we're actively managing. The beavers are creating areas of open water and cutting down saplings and letting lots of other plants move into place. When the beavers run out of saplings to eat in the winter, they'll typically abandon the pond and the dam and move on to find better food. And then it'll grow back for a number of years, and then the beavers will come back eventually. So it's almost getting to the point where they can do that. So the area that we're caretaking in, just up the trail here, was not only impacted by logging in 1992, but also after that by a lot of beaver activity. Many of the trees that the loggers didn't get, the beavers cut down. So that's one reason that it's so thick right now. So many different things coming up. So of course this becomes a magnet for all kinds of wildlife, not only beaver, but species like otter and great blue heron. The deer and larger animals will come down here to drink. And you get all the aquatic life, frogs, salamanders, snapping turtles and sliders. So all kinds of things will make use of this area. And we feel it's an essential part of our ecosystem here. The beavers accomplish many things for the water as well. They tend to make these dams and ponds where you have first-order streams coming together to form second-order streams. First-order streams generally don't have enough water flow for there to be much for the beavers to really dam up and make use of. So this pond is formed at the confluence of two different first-order streams where it becomes a second-order stream. And I find that pattern consistent, at least on this property. You don't see beaver ponds until you get to that second-order status. And then once second-order streams come together into third-order streams, around here there seems to be too much water flow for the beavers to manage it. So Little Briery Creek, over on the other end of the property, is a very strong second-order stream. And for the better part of a mile, it's one beaver pond after another. They just cascade into each other. It's really perfect habitat for them. But Briery Creek, which is a third-order stream, it has so much flow and is so strong that I've never found a beaver dam on it, because I think they wouldn't be able to control it. It would be too powerful for them when the flow is up. So it's these second-order streams in the environment that seem to attract beavers, at least in my region here. Which is great, because a lot of the sediment and stuff you would get going into our river systems enters into those first-order streams as they drain agricultural fields and developments and roadways, forest roads, that kind of thing. So that sediment comes to these open water flat areas, and much of it gets deposited. And then as the rushes and sedges and aquatic plants move in, they'll stabilize that soil. They'll stabilize the sediment into the soil and create rich bottomlands, which help to support this amazing ecosystem, whether it remains open like this or becomes a forest. So it's keeping that sediment out of the rivers and ultimately out of the Chesapeake Bay, which is a good thing. Another thing that's happening is in these still ponds, you'll see some algae forming there. That happens every year in the summer. So there is a very small acreage of agricultural field up above this particular pond in the watershed. So these ponds allow pollutants from those agricultural fields and from the road up there to settle out and experience some more alkaline and anaerobic conditions that will immobilize pollutants, whether it's metals or phosphorus. It'll allow organic pollutants to metabolize, and it'll allow some denitrification, so nitrogen that's in the water when it encounters anaerobic conditions can get released from the water back into the atmosphere. So the beaver ponds, beaver meadows have a lot of benefits. There's a lot of study that can be done about this. And the beavers create these environments for us 24 hours a day, year-round. All we have to do is sit back and watch, observe, learn from them, and help out where we can. So we're very proud and glad of our beaver population here at Briery Creek.